1 o'clock, April 20th. Time for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Are there any additions or corrections to the agenda?
We should add the engineers' proposal to the
Okay.
meeting minutes.
Oh, it says engineering bid opening, isn't that?
No, this is for hiring the engineers. So
Right.
Dale and I already interviewed.
Right.
So
We should do a roll call first.
no,
John?
here.
Dale?
Here.
Marcus gone. Sean? Here. Troy's here. So...
Oh, it is on engineering bid opening. I see.
Right.
Okay. Proposal. Okay.
The last water board meeting I was at, the Bartley Township was asking about our culvert policy, and they had century code that says that the county shall buy culverts for townships that drains, so they'd kind of like some clarification about what we will and will not pay for, so Jamie was gonna look at what that actually means. If it has to be a legal drain and it wasn't a cost share, it was the county shall.
You don't know what century code was.
24.8. So I guess if Jamie brings a little more information, we can talk about that today.
Okay, culverts. Okay.
Is he coming today?
I thought so. He said he'd try to get it looked up before the meeting today.
Right.
I talked to him earlier this morning.
It'd be nice if we'd have something to look at before the meeting, because we're not going to make a decision.
No.
Move to approve the agenda with the addition of the engineer's proposal on culverts.
Moved by Sean to approve the agenda as amended. Is there a second?
One second.
Second by Dale. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Okay, review the minutes from April 6th. Anybody see anything?
I move to approve the April 6th meeting minutes. It's presented and dispense with reading.
Second.
Moved by Dale, seconded by Sean, to approve the April 6th meeting minutes as presented and dispense with reading. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Move on to the bills.
The NDACO one was a webinar Samantha took. So she didn't actually travel anywhere. It's just a webinar she had here.
Oh, they don't charge very much for their webinars. That's kind of nice.
Some are more, but this
Oh.
one, it varies, I think, what it, depending upon the subject.
John said Wayne's daughter's sick.
Wayne's daughter is sick as well. Yeah.
What's wrong?
Her platelet count was very low.
What's that?
Well, it could be a variety of things, but it's usually not a real good sign. Yeah, when it was that low.
Then it's like leukemia or something?
Something like that, yeah.
Really?
Maybe.
I mean,
I don't know her health history or anything,
I
but
don't either.
Move to approve the bills as presented.
Been moved by Sean to approve the bills as presented. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Dale. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. John?
Aye.
Dale?
Aye.
Sean?
Aye.
Troy votes aye. Motion carried. Okay, engineering proposal.
Oh, so we met with, you've got the engineering proposal perspective in there, in front of you there. So we met with Hall this morning and had him go over the different attributes of the KLJ using a questionnaire, a 12-point questionnaire. And we came to the conclusion that KLJ was probably the engineering firm to to hire, being there was no one else involved, and although
Well, that's not only why.
that's not only why. I was going to say, although I believe that under fair competition as we had last time, they were the ones that were hired, so I think we made a good choice. So that's our recommendation, is to retain KLJ Engineering.
For this project.
Correct.
This is the bridge replacement
Yep.
on Connor. Is that a motion?
That's a motion.
It's been moved by John to retain KLJ for the engineering, construction engineering for project BROCNOC dash 002032. You spelled construction wrong on the front page of the deal.
Really? Yeah.
Construction.
Where's our score sheet? I gotta take some points. Past performance experience.
Marketing guy.
Yeah, you're gonna lose, now you're gonna go from a 9 to an 8 on your presentation score.
Is there a second to that motion?
I'll second.
Seconded by Dale. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
You guys look forward to working on this. We didn't put together the construction fee summary or the construction engineering contract yet. Hope to have that ready for you by the next meeting.
Okay.
And the fish spawning restrictions don't allow the contractor to start at the site until after June 1st, so we have a little bit of time to get that in place.
The what?
Fish spawning. Not our rules. Anything in the channel can't happen between April 15th and June 1st. It's an environmental commitment.
I don't think the fish spawn up them little creeks, do they? Maybe. I don't know.
I don't know. There's a couple feet of water in it, and I just drove up there after we met, and it's flowing pretty good. They could get there, I guess.
Oh.
Whether they do or not, I have no idea. But
Well, it really depends on if it floods.
yeah,
Right now, they can't get over there's a little low-head dam south of Highway 200 there.
oh,
When they come out of Ashtabula, they can't get over that unless,
They can't get out of Ashtabula anyway. The ice is sitting on the bottom of the lake.
they can swim up the channel, I would think, can't they? Or are they squashed?
I don't know. Not much room.
They got that thing that low, huh?
Oh, yeah.
well,
Boy, there's not very much water coming at it.
mm-mm.
Though there's no ice up by Macville, the river's open.
That's the
and-
lowest I've seen it in many, many years.
And it's not, that, the water's done running up to Macville and the river's not out of the banks. And it's everything down to a trickle up there. Even that creek by Danny Odegaard's, that's not out of its banks.
Oh, wow.
They just had that much less snow up there.
My yard in Devil's Lake was pretty bare after this week.
Oh yeah, you drove that, you go up to Highway 1 then?
Yeah,
I mean,
you got way
even
more
that,
down here than was up there anymore. Pretty well gone up north.
what's this resolution?
So we have, I don't know, it has to do with,
Did you guys get a notice from the DOT about the parent low bidder?
Yep,
Yep.
I got an email from Dwayne with this, with the list and the apparent low
I
bidder.
sent that to him right after
So,
the bid.
okay. So then we just need to vote on this resolution to hire Riley Brothers Construction?
Yeah, I think that'd be the next step. And it was about the only time I've seen a DOT bid opening go where he didn't take the low bidder was where if they didn't meet the DB requirements. This project didn't have any of that, and nobody did submitted any. So this one, I can't see going to anybody else really. And they do a good job on these. They get them, knock them out. And
Where are they from?
Minnesota, wasn't it?
Minnesota.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I worked with them once before on a similar project up in Nelson County, but they do a lot of box culverts for Cass and not sure who else, but we've had good experience with them.
well, that group that put that one in for us last summer did a nice job too.
Good.
I'll move that we accept Riley Brothers Construction for the project BROCNO 0020-32 for the amount of $264,441.50. And they are the apparent low bidder.
Is there a second to the motion?
Second.
Seconded by Dale. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. John?
Aye.
Dale?
Aye.
Sean?
Aye.
Roy votes aye. Motion carried.
Just one further thing on that, related to that project. I don't remember for sure if you guys have set your responsible charge for the county for overseeing the project. Usually that's the highway superintendent, but it's up to the county if they pick to do that. Basically, it's the person who oversees, day-to-day operations, reviews the progress reports, and
We need to take action, you mean? We need to
Right,
appoint
yeah.
somebody?
yeah,
Oh,
it's project specific on federal aid jobs.
sure.
That's where the BRO funding is what brings that in.
Okay.
So we need a motion to appoint the head of the road department as a project supervisor, so
There's a responsible charge.
responsible charge.
Yeah, and that person,
So moved.
Been a motion by John to appoint the head of the road department as the responsible charge overseeing the bridge replacement project. Is there a second to the motion?
Second.
Seconded by Dale. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Culverts? I didn't
I read it.
have time to read it. but-
Okay, so we'll have to get Jamie's ruling on this, but I think it's a little bit, come here. Okay,
Where you at?
24802.1. So it says the county shall furnish and install at county expense such culverts as are necessary to be used along township roads at points of intersection with established drains, in accordance with sections 240801 and 240802. So 240801 is construction of bridges by Board of County Commissioners, but it gives the procedure for how and when a bridge would get constructed. So it's whenever a majority of freeholders of a civil township or the majority of freeholders within a radius of 3 miles of the proposed location petition the Board of County Commissioners for a bridge at a specific location within such township or within any incorporated city. If the cost of the bridge exceeds a sum of $500, the Board of County Commissioners shall view and investigate the necessity of the proposed bridge. So they're talking about it must be in accordance with 240801. It's a procedure by which you go move forward with that. So we would have to pay for the culvert, the way I read it, if we decided we had to pay for the culvert, if a culvert was needed. And in 240802, the expense of constructing a bridge as provided in section 240801 must be paid out of the county bridge fund. So yeah, we have to pay for the culvert. The county has to pay for the culvert if the Board of Commissioners deems a culvert is necessary, is the way I read that.
Is this replacing an existing one, or is it a new culvert, or what?
Additional culverts, I think.
But it also says, it also says at points of intersection with established drains. Now what that means, does that mean it actually voted on established drain, or does that
Legal
mean,
drain
or does it mean a waterway, a drain? But I mean, the correct place to the culvert to come from is from the road department, not from the water board.
Right.
That was never should have been a function of the water board. I don't believe.
And I think the townships feel that, when there's a bunch of water coming, it's not their responsibility if it didn't originate in their jurisdiction.
Right.
To, put in a bunch of
It
6-inch.
should go away as fast as it comes in.
Yeah, but if they, equalizing culverts are different, but if you've got water coming from different jurisdictions and
You're inheriting
You're
something else's
inheriting
problem.
Most of it comes from different jurisdictions.
Yeah.
I mean, where do you,
Yeah.
who makes that?
And according to Wayne, it needs to be, road department supplied the culverts. It was just within the last 10 years that all of a sudden the water board started doing it. So he said it was always the discretion of the road department, and he'd bring it to the county commission and see if that was their wishes. So,
The county bought all the culverts?
no, not all the culverts, but in
In situations.
situations
like
where,
this.
yeah, where there was a shared need, I guess. So, I don't know how they handle that. I guess we'll see what Jamie says.
Wonder what other counties do. I suppose it varies from A to Z.
It does. I've got that somewhere. That Fred Lucan's checked on what some of the other neighboring counties do, and the policies vary from cost share to depending on the size. And
I guess with a couple other counties I work with, I guess I don't work with Cavalier, but their water board had a project with Ramsey. But anyway, they have a cost share on theirs, on the ones that are on their drains.
On
Like
illegal
60-40.
drains.
Yeah, and then Ramsey County, they, I think anything over 36 inches, the county highway department will supply the culvert. But I think the township still put it in, I'm not sure. I think it's on their roads.
I wonder why they 60/40 cost share on a legal drain. That doesn't make a lick of sense to me.
No, not
No,
because
I mean, you're gonna levy for the thing
There's a
anyway.
levy on it anyway, so that should come out of the
right.
maintenance levy.
Yeah, I guess, and the counties, that was on a county road crossing, sorry.
Assuming the county was gonna have a culvert there anyway, I suppose.
Well, and, the century code also, requires on county highways that they can pass a 25-year event or have the capacity to, so most of the time you're trying to maintain that. And townships are 10-year, I think. And the dumb thing about that is then you got, county highway upstream of a township road, well, sometimes the township road will go over, but they typically have less traffic, so I guess it must be what the people who wrote the century code figured made sense.
Yeah, we gotta tolerate some of that.
Yeah.
Can't have it all going.
Yeah.
We'll just have to talk to Jamie and see if we can set a policy so that we have standards to go by.
Well, we had the policy and we killed it 4 or 5 years ago. I don't remember. When
certain size, it was kind of Wayne just kept this little note under his desk pad that they pay for
Yeah.
a portion, a certain size.
So maybe we can consult with Wayne and see what the policy previously had been before the water board took it over.
Okay.
Here from notes from Fred, it says Barnes County cost shares up to $3,000. Smaller culverts are not the township responsibility. Nelson recommends projects and cost shares 60/40. Some county water boards pay half, the culvert township pay half, so there's lots of different methods for sharing the cost of those bigger culverts.
Well, just have to.
And then whose budget?
Road department is what it was. I mean,
Is there any room in the road department budget for? It's a number that's pretty hard to come up with.
Can you have an account outside the road budget for this? I mean, it's not really the county road system, it's the township.
I mean, it could
Assuming
be.
that we determine that we should be sharing costs.
Right, I mean, I guess it could come out of the general fund. We could set an account up in the general fund,
That's what I wondered.
yeah. That'd give you some more flexibility, I mean, the biggest thing is.
And more control.
Right, and because you're gonna have to, you just can't, you probably can't honor every request, it's probably on a.
We're only have so many funds available.
Therein lies the problem.
Right, and, you know, it's probably within that year's budget, and then you set priorities, you know, moving forward, well, it got turned down this year, but now next year when.
Right.
Move up the list or something.
It always seemed to me that culverts weren't that expensive. The big ones are, of course,
Yeah.
but like a 24-inch culvert, they're not.
Yeah, they're not much money, but those aren't the ones they're concerned with. It's
I see.
when they're putting in 5-footers
Okay.
and ones that, you know, takes, if you're not levying a lot of money in your township, that takes a big chunk of your budget if you
Right.
haven't planned ahead for it and you need it.
Right.
Okay. Well, we'll talk some more about that when we hear from Daniel.
Yep.
Okay. Employee manual?
I thought we took care of that last.
It was about the flowers part.
Oh, it's not really about the employee manual.
No. I had asked Troy about sending like a plant or flower or something to Samantha and her daughter. And I guess we kind of wanted your opinion. In the past, according to talking with the other girls, the county would have, in a case like that or a funeral, the county would send something.
I guess we've done that in the past.
Have we?
You know, when we first came on. I can't remember what the situation was, but
Retirements.
what's that?
Retirements.
I wonder if it wasn't. I don't have a clear recollection, but I remember there is some precedent for it. Whether it's right or not, I don't know. That's,
Well, if you guys decide to do that, you should do the same thing for Wayne.
you know,
I don't.
I guess I'd be more inclined to everybody in the courthouse throws in something,
We did do that.
you know.
We did, and just put money in Sam and Adam's account for them.
I mean, it's a nice gesture, but I don't think that's a purpose of government myself. Where do you draw the line? I mean,
I don't. I'm just.
I don't know either, I mean,
I mean, if it was my money, I'd do something.
right. Yep, that's correct, it's just,
I guess going forward when something like this comes up, I'd appreciate if I was contacted and I'd contribute as,
Okay,
yeah, so what
We
I.
can do
Yeah, me
that.
too.
you know,
Okay.
I think
rather
that-
than the taxpayers.
Okay. we can do that, certainly.
I'd appreciate being contacted and I'd contribute
Okay.
to flowers or something like that.
Yeah, or retirement or things like that, I think that's probably the best way to do it is.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
These guys are destroying so many records they wore out the shredder.
Yeah, still trying to get it.
And it was me. And it was
There
me.
was a time when they were wore out, but it was 6 years ago, needed it.
Needed a bail process 6 years ago.
Yeah, for about a 4-day period there between the election and the week of office, there was a whole lot of shredding going on.
You know that?
Yeah.
Anyway, Lori called me and she just told me that shredder had got on the fritz, and I asked her to get some prices, and then, so she got one price to fix it, one to replace it, and the social services department for some time, I don't know how long, has had this Minn Kota secured document destruction. They must come to town and do some of the banks or something too.
2 of the banks and CMC.
There's another outfit in East Grand Forks that we have in Macville that we're, because they have her out on Highway 15. To me, it's for $35 for a 68-gallon container, and they give you a certificate of destruction when they're done. You couldn't pay somebody to stand there and shred for that, let alone go buy a shredder.
Right. Just so it doesn't get used like a garbage can. Just so the stuff that goes in there has to be shredded, or should be shredded.
Well, we're over at the bank. We probably shred more stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
than we have to.
Right.
But it's better to shred a few more pages than not enough.
No, I think that'd be best.
There's already one in the
Like that,
building.
right.
We might as well have another one.
Yeah.
Kelly had made the concern that she would like to have one of her own in her
Why?
office. Just because when they usually go through their stuff, they feel quite a bit. So she had just asked if she could have one, like the $25 one, which is the smaller.
I mean, they don't charge you for having them.
Just every time it's tipped, it's,
Huh?
every time they empty it is a charge. So
Right.
if everybody had one, wouldn't matter.
Wouldn't matter.
Yeah.
But to me, the number of these that you have should match the cycle that they come to town.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
So we have one in Macville. Tolman has 2. They come around every 6 weeks. It works fine. Are you going to have 3 of them in here and then they only need done every 6 months, or it don't matter? I guess I don't care.
Social services, I guess right now it's like once a year,
Is that all?
basically.
Boy, we shred a lot more than you guys do then.
So
Does the company care how many there are?
no,
They don't.
not from what I
Then
got.
I don't care. I mean, I don't think it's really putting anybody out if they have to walk across the hall to use one. But
I did check with Jamie and, well, I guess not with Jamie, but with Wes, and he checked with Jamie, and they don't need their own down there, so we could just take out where the shredder is now and put the
Just
big.
have one big centrally located one, I think,
Mhm.
is to start with.
so
What's the big one? 65?
68 gallons, $35 to dump it. I mean,
And that's big.
Yep.
I went and looked at the one, social services.
yeah.
So we just put one there in place of the shredder, and that should be good.
Is it in an office or is it out in the hallway?
No, it's down in our mail room,
Oh.
in where the central printer is. Copier.
And then you'd have the key.
One person in the key.
Sure sounds like the way to go.
I think it's a pretty easy decision myself. Somebody want to put that in the form of a motion?
Sure, I'll make a motion, we use the Minn Kota Services for shredding documents.
It's been moved by Sean that we go from shredding our own documents with our own shredder to using Minn Kota. Is there a second to the motion?
It's second.
Seconded by Dale. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. John?
Aye.
Dale? John?
Aye.
Troy votes aye. Motion carries. Old courthouse, new courthouse.
Did we get the question on the ballot?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
I just have to have Connie go over proofing the ballots with me.
Is there any
Second
reason to
vote.
have some kind of information in the paper or something regarding that measure? I mean, we authored it.
Well, I thought it was kind of self-explanatory. It didn't bind us to the decision of the voters. It was asking for their opinion, really, is what it was. I mean, don't you think that once we know what the voters'
Wishes are?
wishes are, then there would have to be information put forward?
Right, at least it gives us a direction. That's what we're looking for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, because there is a group of people that want it tore down. There's also a group of people that would like to preserve it.
Well, I'm aware of that.
Yeah.
The group that wants to preserve it should pay for it.
Yeah, like anything else, it's majority rules, and the minority is going to be unhappy. So I think it's best just to leave it an open question and see where it falls.
Okay.
So that we don't unduly influence it one way or the other by.
I would like to.
I know that. Not our job. You have to move to the old Czechoslovakia or somewhere like that, or Yugoslavia, if that's what you want to do.
Did we find out anything about getting mailboxes?
We haven't heard back yet
That's right.
from, have not heard back.
It's kind of interesting that we can't just have one.
Mailbox? We can't have one?
Well, I think we should,
Yeah.
instead of a bank of mailboxes. But
Has that question been asked?
I know.
it's been asked and answered. The
Yes.
answer, huh?
Is it no?
Well, some of the people, the officials think it's no because of confidentiality, but an address on an envelope isn't real confidential. I mean,
I don't get it.
they don't want somebody else opening their mail by mistake.
Well, doesn't it all go into one common mailbox now at the
No.
post
No.
office?
No.
Oh,
Everybody has their own
Sheriff,
post office.
state's attorney, treasurer,
hmm.
recorder, social
Auditor.
services, auditor. I mean,
Extend.
Yeah.
that was Mary's argument to put a bank of them here, because we're paying so much
For every
box
box.
rent up there.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think one person, they take turns running up there anyway, so it all goes into one pile anyhow, right? Or you just take a handful of rubber bands with you?
Social services always goes on their own.
Oh,
The rest of us, maybe one or two we'll run up and do it. Get them.
So it gets commingled anyway.
Well, they probably keep it separate.
I don't think it's so much that the rest of us are so concerned about. It's more social services do not want us touching their stuff.
Well, did we get by with 2 mailboxes then? One for them and one for the rest of the courthouse?
I don't know. I know Samantha has contacted Doreen, but Doreen has not gotten back to Samantha on anything.
Green.
Well, that's not a surprise.
Isn't that Doreen?
Yeah, I don't know, postmistress or...
Yeah, I know, but what? Contact her about what?
About getting.
Well, we wouldn't buy them from her. I wouldn't think, would we?
Amazon.
I mean, once you put them up, I don't think the post office has a choice on whether we can have them or not.
Just gotta be on the
You
road.
just have to be on the route. Yeah. Because anybody in Cooperstown can put a mailbox up and have their mail delivered.
I can't. Well, I can, but I gotta put it a block away from my house.
Right. Yeah.
So we're on a route here?
I don't know that.
Well, you know we are on that side of the...
Right. Well, maybe that's a start. See if they would. You know, it'd be nice to have the boxes inside.
in the entryway.
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess what Ramsey County does is they have a street address and then different units for each department or whatever. So like the auditor's office is unit 6 and social services is 14 or whatever.
Or you could do suite A, suite B, or whatever. to do
Sure.
that.
Yeah, my office is suites and courthouse is units. So.
Okay. Anything else?
I would move we adjourn.
Been moved by John to adjourn. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Dale. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Meeting adjourned at 1:45 p.m. on April 20th. Next meeting date is May 4th at 1 p.m. in this room.